Bhagavad Gita, in 2nd chapter, Arjuna asked to Lord Krishna, "O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence?" Which means that what are the symptoms of a person who is a pure bhakta, pure devotee? How does he speak? And what is his language? How does he sit and how does he walk? So here Arjuna is asking to Krishna, please tell me how a devotee speaks, how a bhakta speaks. And that is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, that our speech of a devotee has to be a meaningful speech. What does it mean by meaningful? A meaningful speech means that whatever the words you speak, it should compose of
sincerity.
Selected words. You should not talk whatever comes to your mind randomly. It has to be very carefully chosen words. The words has to be very sweet to hear. Sometimes you want to criticize someone, point mistakes of someone, or try to improve someone. You should not be very harsh. A truth can be told in a very palatable way. And how do you tell the truth? Suppose somebody, you don't like something somebody is doing, but you have to tell that person. So how do you say? What is that technique named as? Sandwich technique. So what is the sandwich technique, Prabhuji?
You say some good things, like some good qualities, say whatever you want to say in a good way, and then again some good qualities.
Okay. So sandwich means you put the bread and in between you put, what do you put? Butter and maybe tomato, cucumber, whatever you want, right? So on one layer of bread means you tell him about all his good qualities. Then tell him where he needs the improvement. And that tells him, end with some good qualities again. So put something in between. Okay? Then the person will realize, okay, this person respects me, but he wants me to go ahead also. But if you just point the negative thing, what will happen? The person will think that this person is jealous of me. He wants to bring me down. But that may not be your ambition or intention. So your words has to be very sweet to hear, and it has to be appropriate to the situation. So when we talk about, we should talk according to time, place and circumstances. These are the three important things when we talk. We cannot give the same speech everywhere. Even though the topic may be same, depending upon the audience, the speech may differ. You have to make the variation to the speech. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam. And the speech should have some sort of austerity, some sort of purity in the speech. And austerity of speech consists of the words that are truthful. We should not lie or just try to, please someone. We are telling all the lies, Suppose somebody goes to Lord Shiva and tells to Lord Shiva, "Oh Lord Shivji,
You're so handsome.
You are the creator of this universe, destroyer. You are everything. You are one and one. There is nobody higher than you. You are the sole master of all this universe." So how will Lord Shivji feel? If you tell same thing to Lord Hanumanji, you tell Hanumanji, "Oh Hanumanji, you are the best. Nobody is higher than you. You are everything." What will feel to Hanumanji? What will Hanumanji feel? अगर मैं आपको बोलूँ आप प्राइम मिनिस्टर हो दुनिया के, आप कनाडा के प्राइम मिनिस्टर हो, तो क्या लगेगा आपको? You are humiliating me actually, If I have to humiliate you, I have to say, तू क्या यहाँ का प्राइम मिनिस्टर है क्या? है ना, ऐसा बोलते हैं ना, है ना? So if you excessively glorify someone, then that is not truthful. You have to be really truthful, which means that what you speak has to correlate with the situation, right? So our speech has to be truthful. This is from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. 17th chapter, 15th shloka. Then our speech has to be pleasing to others. Our speech should be beneficial. If we speak, it has to benefit you, benefit me also. It has to be win-win situation. It should not agitate others. Krishna says to Arjuna that you speak in such a way that it should not agitate. Agitate means disturb others. Don't disturb, or as he said, bhadkao. That's the Hindi word, Gujarati word, or what sort of word is that? Don't flame up, somebody's mind. If you say something and somebody will get disturbed, don't do that. And our speech should only speak about spirituality, Krishna consciousness. So next, Chanakya Neeti, Niti Shastra, Chanakya Pandit tells us that no penance is greater than the one done for maintaining the peace. No peace is better than one received from satisfaction, and no disease as more damaging than the greed, and no dharma is better than the one having compassion for others. So here the Chanakya Pandit in shloka says that at any cost we should look for peace, and the best source of peace is satisfied. We should be satisfied in whatever we have, we get by our hard work. The greatest disease which causes us loss of peace is greed. All the diseases can be removed, but greed is very difficult to remove. And the best dharma is compassion. Did we talk about compassion last week? How many of you were here last week? Did we talk about compassion last week? So what is the compassion? What is real compassion? We talked about two types of compassion, right? False and real. Anybody wants to help me quickly? No? Nobody remembers? What is real compassion, Prabhu?
You don't want to see someone suffering, but at the same time you want to help that person to get out of that suffering.
So how do you do that? Action. Good. So tell me, what is real compassion? Did you use an example? What was the example we used? Sometimes it is good to have a notebook and a pen and or your phone, but phone sometimes people play the games. So it is very good idea when you go to a classroom, and this is actually a classroom, okay? Don't be shy of bringing a notebook and a pen. Don't be shy, because I also do that. When I listen to a lecture or a class, I make the notes actually. And I write it down point by point, what I hear. Sometimes you never know what can be useful in your life. If we just, most of the time when we listen, the sound goes from here, 10% of filtration, 90% exhaust fan.
10% bouquet.
I would encourage, if you are really serious, please start noting down the points. Have a pen and a paper with you. Because when I come here to talk to you, I actually work for at least 10 to 12 hours to make this notes to presentation. I have to read so much amount of literature, and then I have to come and tell to you. And the idea is that you get some benefit out of it. So if he doesn't get benefit, then it's of no use. Right? To you, it's useful to me anyway. I get all the benefit out of it. But if you're really serious, just start taking some notes. We can learn from each other. If I learn something from you, I will write it down. like that. So what is the example we talked about of compassion, real compassion? Any example you remember? We talked about almost 1 hour. A winner will, a person who gives the right answer will get a prize today. Tell me. Somebody can give me an example. Anjali? She is the single sharpest person here. Yes? Anybody?
Fake compassion no yaad છે.
Okay, one example. We talked about so many examples. One example of a compassion. Prabhuji? Yeah. We talked about so many things, but what is the real compassion?
The compassion was when Nityanand was preaching Krishna consciousness. He was beaten up by the drunkards. But when Chaitanya Prabhu wanted to punish him, he should save them.
Right.
Nityanand Prabhu.
That's good. He is very close. Remember this example? That's why we put the picture on the screen. And what is this example, Prabhuji? Can you explain that?
That's fake compassion.
Why?
She's polishing the cage, not the bird.
Right. So here, this lady is very rich. He sees a bird suffering in the cage. So he thinks that the bird is suffering because the cage is of iron cage. So she brings a golden cage. But still the bird is suffering. So then she starts polishing the golden cage. But still the bird is suffering. And why? So she is being compassionate but in a wrong direction. Understand the point? The best way to compassion was that the bird was hungry, feed the bird. Right? So the real compassion is that instead of saving the clothes of a drowning person, save the person himself. Right? If a person is drowning and you try to save his clothes, will that person be happy?
No.
He will not be happy. Similarly, you have to save the person. So how do you save the person? How do you save the person?
Soul, not the body.
Soul, right? Atma. We all are suffering. We all want to be happy, as that bird want to be happy. And somebody thinks that I will be happy if I buy 56-inch television. And then somebody think, oh no, I will be happy with 90-inch. So who will be the most happy? 60 or 90? Ideally, the 90-inch television person should be the most happy person because he has the very big TV. Does that really happen? So the happiness, does it depend upon the size of the TV or the person? If the money can give the happiness, then America could be the happiest country in the world. Is that true? Is America happy? You can see that, right? If money could give happiness, then person who has the bigger house will be more happy than the person who has a smaller house. Right? Is that true? Always? Not necessary. Sometimes the person who has a big house also has a big problems, Right? Person who has a bigger business supposed to be the very happy, but that person might be the most miserable. Right? The people who have got a lot of name, fame, success, they are supposed to be most happy. And what happens to them?
They get miserable.
They get miserable. Like, Michael Jackson. Anybody heard that word, Michael Jackson? He was the pop singer. He had a name, fame, money, power. You can imagine. We are all looking for that. He had everything. But he was not happy. So what does that mean? That we are trying to get the happiness from the source where it does not exist. You get the point? Like we try to get happiness with the bigger TV. Suppose you think that if you have iPhone 6s Plus, your happiness will be plus size, right? Does that happen? People with 6 Plus also are unhappy, right? So happiness is not dependent on external source. It is dependent on internal source. So if you are really looking for compassion, you have to be compassionate first to yourself. You can give what you have. If you are compassionate to yourself, then you can give compassion to others, right? If I have $100, I can give you $50. But if I don't have, what can I give? Nothing. I'm a beggar, what am I going to give? So if I know what is soul and what is the body, and if I can save my soul, I can save other souls. You know? And what is the way to save the soul? Did we talk about this last time?
Chant the Mahamantra.
Chant the Mahamantra every day, one round. What is the Mahamantra? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we have to chant this mantra every day for how many times?
106.
One round is 108, right? And it takes 7 to 8 minutes. And our little friend, I forgot your name, I'm sorry.
Suhani.
Suhani is doing this for last whole week, right? How many of you did this? How many of you committed to me last time? Prabhuji committed, Anjali ji committed. Everybody did? Yeah? So you're going to share about your experience after the Aarti. Okay? And we'll take 1 or 2 minutes for each. And along with that, we had an ongoing assignment. What is that assignment?
One shloka from
Read from Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam and tell to
your partner.
one more person. So I hope you'll keep on doing that. So you're going to share that also with us today, your experience. So real compassion is we have to save our soul and then help others to save their soul. And through reading the books, reading Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, we read so many things on the internet. But on the internet there is a free website called as vedabase.com, and there you can find Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita free of cost. You can read all the books there. We'll take one more shloka from Niti Shastra and then we stop. He who is aware of the future troubles and who possesses the sharp intelligence remains happy. In contradiction to this stage, he who remains inactive, waiting for the good days to come, destroys his own life. So here Chanakya Pandit said that if you really want to be happy, what you have to do? You have to think about the problems which you may get in the future. You know? And if we remain inactive, waiting for the good days to come, just sitting like this here, and I just sit here and I don't do anything, then nothing will happen. But at the same time, he cautions that one should not grieve for the past and worry for the future. The wise care for the present and chart their life's course accordingly. So here Chanakya Pandit said that if you have made some mistake in the past, learn from it and go ahead. Don't overindulge in it. Then he says that a mere trickle of tiny drops of water can fill a pitcher, right? Similarly, we must keep collecting knowledge, dharma and money, drop by drop. You know, nothing grows all of a sudden overnight, right? So knowledge has to be accumulated like a drop by drop. You can't be Pandit in one night, right? You have to get little by little by little. Similarly, you can't become rich overnight. You have to accumulate whatever the money you get little by little. And same thing is dharma. You should not give up any opportunity to help others. You know, that is the dharma. And wherever and whenever it is said that if you get gold from the garbage, we are going to talk about it. Chanakya Pandit said that if you collect the gold, if you see gold in the garbage, what do? If you see like 10 kilo of gold in a garbage bin, what will you do? Jump in the garbage bin directly, right? घर जाके स्नान करेंगे, सोना 10 किलो का बड़ा है क्या नहीं, क्या गंदा है करके छोड़ देंगे, स्नान तो वापस किया तो चलेगा, है ना? प्रभु जी आप क्या करेंगे? नहीं, सीधा जंप करेंगे. कितना भी गंदा पानी है, 10 किलो का बड़ा ईट पड़ा है, माय गॉड, चलो जाते अंदर. So Chanakya Pandit said that you have to collect the knowledge from wherever. If it is good for your health or your development of your spiritual life, then you should get it. Then he said, secret of success. One should never leak out one's well thought out intentions, determinations, and they should be jealously guarded like some secret mantra. Sometimes you have good intentions, you want to do something, but आप करने के पहले ही प्रचार चालू कर देते हैं. फिर क्या होता है? What happens then? नहीं होता है. क्यों नहीं होता है? Why Chanakya Pandit is saying that you should keep your well thought intentions secret? Why is he saying like that?
There are plenty of people jealous who would.
हाँ, कभी कभी ऑब्स्टेकल तैयार करने वाले लोग भी रहते हैं. Some people are ready to block your path. So Chanakya Pandit is saying that you should keep your secrets, and implementation of them should also be achieved without any fanfare and total secrecy to ensure their successful accomplishment. समझ में आ रहा है? तो हमारी जब ये शादी होती थी, हुई थी, तो हुई थी, तभी हमारे माता पिता भी हमें बोलते थे कि अभी एंगेजमेंट हुई है, अभी पक्का नहीं है, फिर वो रुपया नारियल बोलते हैं ना उसको, अभी पक्का नहीं हुआ है, एंगेजमेंट नहीं हुई है, तो अभी सिर्फ जबान दिए, तो अभी किसी को पता ना, पहले कंफर्म हो जाने तो बाद में सबको बताओ. ये तो कभी कभी ब्रेक भी हो जाता है, तो फिर बड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता है बाहर मुंह दिखाना. इसलिए बोलते हैं कि कोई अच्छा काम करना है तो उसको थोड़ा सीक्रेट रखो, ज्यादा पब्लिक में प्रचार करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Then Chanakya Pandit said you should learn from the lion, and what he says, you learn from the lion to put your 100% in whatever the work you do. And how